the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to Ringside Renaissance with another episode of the RRW Weekly Review for the WWE Universe. And I'm here joined by my co-host, Pretty Deadly Jesse. And I'm Andrew Combat Jones. Da-da-da-da-da. What's going on, Jesse?
Combat Jones.
Yeah.
It's going down.
What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Good, man. I've been better, but I've been worse.
Yeah, and we're coming fresh off of our first in a while attending a WWE live event. We went to WWE SmackDown live in Albany, New York. And before we even got there, we got to visit the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like right in the arena that SmackDown was at, they actually have an International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and it's in Albany, New York. It was really interesting to see a lot of like the nostalgic pieces that they had, and good people that were working there, and yeah, it was really interesting. It was something that I remembered was there, but I forgot like when we were going there that it was going to be there. So it was a nice little extra piece that we had on our little trip, and it was the first time like you and I have seen each other in person in
Yes,
10 years, you know,
at least.
So
Yeah.
it was just a really cool kind of getting together and the experience of being there and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, and I've been, I'm sure you've been there too, to the MVP arena a few times too. And all the times I went, I think it was closed or I got there too late and I wasn't able to go into the museum and see what they had. But there was a lot of cool shit in there, man. Like a lot of old stuff going like way back to like the 40s and the 50s even.
Yeah,
it seemed
they had Bruno Sammartino's WWF championship that he actually held, and autographs and like different like ring attires people had, and I wanted them to let me put on the Bam Bam Bigelow outfit, but that wasn't going to be in play. But
yeah, we were trying to try on all the outfits and ring attire, but I guess they weren't having it.
Yeah, you can't win them all.
Yeah. Yeah, not to mention the raffle we didn't win for the chair signed by the Nasty Boys.
That was rigged, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
I got a call 2 days later from a random number, like a 518 number, and I'm like, what if?
Oh, man.
Like, what if I won that?
Yeah.
It was a steel folding chair signed by a bunch of different wrestlers, and it was, I think, like headlined by the Nasty Boys had signed it. And yeah, we didn't win it. Long story short, they took our money, but still a great time.
It was a good donation too. Yeah. So shout out to the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Great job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And then we got to attend what I thought, especially looking back, was a great episode of WWE SmackDown. It actually far exceeded my expectations because we got to see some pretty important throwback kind of stuff happen with the retirement, right?
Yep.
And some other stuff that we're going to get into. But overall, I thought, attending the show, it was a great atmosphere. It was a pretty packed house. There was a couple open seats like here and there, but even like on the hard camera angle side, it was pretty packed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was pretty wild. And I don't know if it translated to the TV, like how pumped up the crowd was, but I know especially like where I was sitting, like there was people like literally on their feet the whole episode, chanting and putting signs up and cheering, and yeah, it was a pretty cool episode, pretty exciting episode. I forgot when you go and watch a televised event, like how much commercial breaks there are and the whole production side of it, but that's what you're going to get when you go to one of these televised, wrestling events. But
yeah, and
overall, I felt it flowed pretty good.
Yeah, it flowed good, and I felt like they did a great job of when they were on commercial breaks to entertain the audience too, and kind of interact with the audience. Because in the past, I don't think it was always as great like that, but like the ring announcers, like they had like the suck it cam, and they were going all over like the arena, and everybody was doing the X or the suck it or whatnot, and
here's your sign or something.
Yeah,
everybody's holding their signs up, and they were like highlighting like the best signs in the crowd and stuff. And
yeah,
I thought it was pretty fun. It was interesting. A couple parts kind of, I don't want to say fell flat for me, but it was, like I said, I mean, going to live events, there's a certain energy that gets involved with it. But at the end of the day, like there's no better seat than like your couch, with your own snacks and
the commentary. That's what you miss live too a lot of times, because to really understand what's going on, or those little shots here and there of that they use to plant a seed of knowledge of what's going on or what they want you to know. Yeah.
And then like the backstage segments, like I don't know where you were sitting, but like where I was sitting, like the backstage segments, like people were cheering and chanting the whole time, so it was hard to kind of pick up. Like they had an LA Knight backstage segment, and stuff like that, and Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa at one point. And the crowd was like cheering and popping for what was on the screen, but it was like not allowing for you to kind of fully hear the conversations and stuff. But that's okay. It's nothing a quick watch back at home doesn't fix,
Right. So. We were looking for the whole time, just to go back when we showed up.
Yeah.
Pretty deadly.
Yeah.
Before we even made it. Yeah, complete letdown. Before we even made it in the building, we were coming around back of the arena. We saw an open door. We tried to sneak in. We asked security. We were denied. We did everything we could to try to gain access to that backstage area. And from what we understand, we don't think Pretty Deadly was even there.
No.
And this is a massive letdown. Yeah.
We didn't have the proper credentials to enter the arena, and
True.
which was a extreme letdown. Pretty Deadly needs to get their flowers.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even want to go to the event when we heard and found out that Pretty Deadly was not going to be in attendance.
Yeah,
not
that
even
they
for
weren't
a dark
announced.
match.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I didn't get my Tasty Snacks T-shirt from the merch table because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
So WWE's really fucking this up.
Yeah. So what the hell is going on? And we asked the security guards. They're like, "Who's Pretty Deadly?"
Yeah.
Like we're trying to get in every back door we could.
Yeah. You're not a Fed fan, bitch. You're just a security guard.
Yeah.
Move out the fucking way. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Yeah. But we tried our best.
We did.
Yeah.
We were going to bring it to you live if we were able to connect the two Tasty Snacks and the beautiful biscuits. We were trying to connect and go live just to bring it to you.
They didn't want you to see that. They were trying to block our signal because of it. It was like Area 51. Like they did not want us to see what was back there. They didn't want us to document it. It was a whole another level of secrecy. I just don't get it.
Yeah. And if, the Ringside Renaissance brought to you Pretty Deadly unification, the whole world would be set on fire. Like we're talking about levels of dominance that you would not see anywhere else.
Yeah. The sexiness would be on a whole nother level right now. And now y'all are suffering.
Sexy. Yeah. So you can blame Levesque for that. And send him your hate tweets. We appreciate them.
Yeah. Send them all kind of DMs.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about.
Hashtag justice for Pretty Deadly.
Yeah. All right.
Pretty Deadly wasn't there. It was a little bit disappointing.
Right. Yeah, and we got 2 dark matches at the end.
Yeah.
Which was cool. Yeah.
So. We got 2 opening matches too, and
Yeah. Correct.
We had a speed qualifier match, and
oh my god,
the match literally lasted 50 seconds.
Was it even 50 seconds? Like
it was less than a minute.
A lot of jokes to be made there.
Yeah. Andrade was on some speed for that match.
He was definitely a 1-minute man.
Ask Charlotte.
Yeah.
So the show opened up. Like I said, it was a great crowd. It was great being there. It was great seeing the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. It was a good experience overall.
Mm-hmm.
And the show started out. We had the coronation ceremony for Nia Jax, who just became the Queen of the Ring. I believe it was. Why can't I think of his name? My goodness, I keep thinking Adam Pearce because I keep messing his name up. Nick Aldis.
Nick
Sorry, here we
Aldis.
go. Nick
Yeah,
Aldis.
Nick
We
Aldis.
had Nick Aldis,
Excuse me. Yeah.
in the ring, and
My bad.
yeah, no, it's my bad, man. My
Yeah.
brain's all over the place.
Too.
We had Nick Aldis in the ring, and he called out Nia Jax for her coronation ceremony, and the crowd was not having her one bit.
No, they were not happy. Yeah.
No, it was a whole. They were in the ring, and it was hard to hear what they were saying because the crowd just was not happy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then we got Nia Jax calling out Bayley.
Correct.
Because
she has
SummerSlam. Yep.
Right. Yep. Championship opportunity.
Yeah, and which is pretty interesting. But to which Bayley came out and got jumped by Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Yeah.
In the aisleway and
the entrance ramp when she was coming down. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of Bayley's title run right now. I don't think they're really. I don't know.
Yeah, she hasn't really done much and had much promos to build towards anything else. I mean, at this point, they're letting Nia do that, right? Yeah. And I thought we may get like a little bit of promo from Bayley at that point, but as soon as she came down, I saw them running from behind, coming down. I'm like, man, I know what's going to happen now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like to look at it in contrast to like the spotlight on the women's title on Raw.
Yeah.
And then see what they're doing with it and it being like a focal point of the show and even kind of being tied in with the World Heavyweight title with the Judgment Day and everything else. And then seeing what they're doing with the women's title on SmackDown and it just being kind of muddy. I'm just not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
You know, Bayley's so good on the mic. Why are you not letting her be on the mic?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, she can really connect with the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
And so basically, Nia was saying she was going to challenge her. Bayley comes down, she gets jumped, and Chelsea Green kind of takes over the mic and lets Nia know that you don't need to really worry about Bayley. We just beat her up, blah, blah, blah. But you're going to have to worry about Piper Niven because Piper Niven's going to be the champion come SummerSlam, and you're going to have to face her. Pretty much.
Please no.
Yeah, please no. Yeah. Because then we got to hear Chelsea talk for Piper every time then probably, right? So.
Yeah. And Nia talk about her holes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Piper Niven and Nia Jax is not what I want to see, but.
Yeah. I mean, you could put it on SmackDown or Raw or something, right? Yeah.
But like for like the women's title, I'm not a fan of that. So that wrapped up and
then Nia says, it doesn't matter who I face. Either way, I'm going to annihilate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice play on words there.
Yeah. Real clip.
Her finisher is the Annihilator, by the way. We're calling it the Banzai Drop. We have to make corrections when we're wrong. We're
Annihilator drop. Yeah.
But yeah, so that finished up, that wrapped up, and then we got our first match of the night was Tommaso Ciampa with Johnny Gargano against Austin Theory with Grayson Waller. And
the new DX.
Yeah, DIX.
Why?
Dix.
DIXY.
DIXY. Dixie. So we had them come out and, DIY just was in the tag title picture on Raw, didn't win their tag title opportunity. And then they get drafted to SmackDown. And now they're just getting put in the tag title picture on SmackDown, it seems. It was an okay match, though. It was, it was a good opening match. I mean, Austin Theory knows how to get heat. Him and Grayson Waller are pretty good heels. And there was some nice back and forth. There was some pretty cool little spots, a little spot on the outside of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Grayson Waller was just like walk around the ring bitching the whole time and getting in the face of the commentators and kind of trying to draw the heat up. And to a surprising finish, Tommaso Ciampa defeated Austin Theory.
Yes, I was surprised.
I was very surprised at that. I didn't think, which furthers the whole theory that, no pun intended, that it's going to be DIY against A-Town Down Under moving forward with the tag storyline. So
yeah, and it seemed like they may have had a little bit of friction this time too.
Yeah,
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, because he bumped into him on the ropes and kind of cost him the match. sort of. So, and then next week, I believe, is Gargano versus Grayson Waller.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
so they'll probably split it.
Yeah, they'll split it, and they put DIY in there. Yeah.
And next we had Andrade, who was playing double duty because he had that dark speed match for the ages. I mean, it's just to every WWE fan around the world that they did not air the speed match with Andrade against, I don't even remember who he was against, but
Gallows or right. Anderson.
Oh, Carl Anderson. That's right.
Yeah,
Carl Anderson got fucking jobbed in less than a minute in a dark match.
Yeah. I don't think Andrade broke a sweat. Yeah.
No.
He still had to go back and hit the treadmill before he came out for his second match to get warmed up because it still wasn't enough. Yeah.
Carl Anderson had to grease him up after the match to make it look like he's... So Andrade came out and fought Apollo Crews, man, like made appearance. Like, where's he been?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since I think he was in NXT the last time, and since he was back before that, he was doing his whole other gimmick, I'll call it. I don't, want to get into it too crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought he got released, and then like his graphic came up on the screen, and I said, "Oh shit, Apollo Crews is here." Okay,
yeah.
So
and he's wrestled. He can wrestle too. He's very impressive. Yeah,
I thought they both put on a really good performance. Andrade is really good, and I'm hoping they're gonna do more with him than with this whole Santos Escobar kind of angle they got going on.
Yes. Yep.
But again, as well, we'll talk about moving on probably. Like, it just seems like WWE is so saturated with talent right now that it's just hard to keep everybody that's good relevant right now.
Right. And you stick to the facts, but I love the rumors and the gossip. And what the rumors and the gossip are saying is that Andrade has been very vocal backstage about being displeased about where it's going with as far as like stories and stuff like that, and it's becoming uncomfortable, allegedly. Okay. So hopefully this is leading to something with Santos Escobar, right? And we get a little bit more of Andrade because he did go and come back. So
yeah, I mean, the best thing they could do is have next week the debut of the newest member of, I'm not even going to butcher his name, Santos Escobar's team.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara. And so Andrade can punch him backstage and be suspended again.
Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
You heard it here first.
Yep. The Spanish.
Clip that.
Spanish God.
The Spanish Inquisition. Then we had KO come out and cut a promo in the ring. And I got to say it because I'm an asshole or whatever. Kevin Owens looks fucking jacked in real life.
Yeah.
Like on TV, he may look like a little bit like overweight or whatever, but he didn't look like that in person at all. He looked good in person.
Yeah, and, absolutely. The crowd went wild for him too.
Yeah.
The crowd loves KO. Yeah.
It was really cool to see. And he had mentioned Randy Orton got injured during the King of the Ring finals, which I hope is not legit.
Right. Yeah.
I hope that's kind of just leaning into a storyline. It'd be sad to see Orton hurt again. But yeah, he said he wants a piece of the Bloodline's ass right now. He wanted it, and
he wants a piece of ass.
We didn't get the Bloodline.
Yeah.
I want to go solo on that ass. So yeah, we didn't get the Bloodline right away. Who did we get? The Wise Man.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman did his thing right here, man.
What an honor to be in his presence.
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool. It was interesting, and it wasn't just like him being background noise. He gave a fired, impassioned speech, which I think personally drove this Bloodline storyline for moving forward very well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because who knows what's gonna been happen with it. It's kind of fell a little flat, sorta, or we just don't really know. And then with the new members, and he helped move it along. He's got that genius mind to know what to say with the story and just where to go with things.
Yeah, and he was just freaking out and saying, nobody's listening to me, and basically showing and like telling the audience that he's not on board with this whole Solo Sikoa bloodline. Like,
right.
no one's listening to me. You guys got to, pay attention. Like, why do you guys think whatever?
Yeah.
And which might come into play moving down the line. I'm sure Solo's not going to be too happy with that. And
yeah, because he's saying, Roman, they had reasons to do the things they did with Roman, with the Usos,
Right.
with Solo, to keep the championship, to keep this bloodline, and how these new members, Tonga and
Tamatonga and Tongaloa
and Tongaloa and Solo, they just want to watch the world burn. They just want to burn it down. They don't care. They're just about the violence and the anarchy and everything, setting it off, and that he's trying to warn Kevin Owens to stay out of it because this is not the same bloodline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like fired. It was impassioned. We got like some classic Paul Heyman there. Looked really good. And I don't feed into the rumor mills either, but
I do.
I was listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast yesterday morning. Shout out Hitting the Turnbuckle and Adam over there. And he said that Roman Reigns is currently filming a movie.
Okay.
And he said he had about a week left on filming the movie.
Oh,
so maybe that's why he's been taking an extended absence.
Is it another Fast and Furious? Hope it's something else, but
Family and Furious.
Maybe they'll go to Mars this time. Yeah. In a car.
They haven't already?
In a car, yeah.
In a car. In a Tesla.
Yeah. They'll go to the Hollow Earth.
And do a crossover. So Paul Heyman gave an impassioned speech trying to warn KO, and almost like a babyface move. KO is a babyface, and Paul Heyman's out there warning him, please just stay out of this. I don't want you involved. And
there was a lot of "We want Roman" chants too.
Yeah,
the whole time. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah,
it was cool.
And Paul Heyman said, "Nobody in this arena wants Roman more than I do."
Yeah,
it
was
which
good.
was kind of cool.
It was a good line.
He played our crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, I started the KO chant that night too. By the way,
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried starting chants the whole night, but when Kevin Owens came out and it went to a commercial break, came back, he was sitting on the ropes, and they were coming back from the commercial. You saw the cameraman count down with his fingers, count down KO that they were coming back. And when I saw him give them the signal that they're back on, I just started yelling KO, and then it started a KO chant. And
okay,
said, yeah, that was me.
That's
me.
cool.
So you're welcome.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I tried a fuck you theory chant.
Yeah,
around. I was like, "Fuck you, theory," and everybody's just looking at me. I said, "Fuck all you too, man."
There was a "fuck you" chant at some, or "shut the fuck up" chant.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
At one point, yeah. I didn't get any chants started that night. No, I had a CM Punk chants I've started a couple times, a few times in the past, mainly when the Elite came out.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. I was part of the show. So you're welcome, everybody that watched. You wouldn't have got that without me. And then Solo Sikoa and the Gorillas of
Destiny.
Gorillas of Destiny. God, Gorillas of Destiny. I think. I don't know.
He's Kevin Owens grabbed Paul Heyman. He said, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I'm gonna do. Pretty much grabbed Paul Heyman or got close to him. So they came out to defend him, which I was surprised, but not really, because they needed to play into that story,
Right. I'm going to call them the Tonga team.
The Tonga.
So the Tonga team and Solo came out, and out from the crowd, here come the Street Profits to kind of back up Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Yep.
Which led into
tag team match.
Yeah, tag team match. The Street Profits versus the Tonga team, and I thought they had a pretty good showing. That was Tonga Loa's first match in WWE, right? Or no, he had one other one.
I believe it was his first match, and if it wasn't, it was definitely their first match as a tag team together.
Yeah,
and because and what I also noticed with their ring attire, it's kind of similar to with the kind of vest they're wearing with the coordinated red, bloodline colors and stuff like that. So definitely their first tag match together like that. Sure, they wanted WWE. In WWE. I'm sure they wanted them to look dominant too. But Street Profits look good too. They had some good spots. It was a good match. Yeah, it went on too.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting to me, because I think if you're trying to build this new bloodline up as being as dominant and crazy and not caring as much as they're trying to do with it. I think it should have been a squash.
I thought it was going to be more of a squash match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it would have done them better to be a squash match and not necessarily even against the Street Profits.
Yeah.
Have somebody come in pretty deadly. I mean, have somebody come in just to squash them, just to show their dominance and their power and their animalistic style that they got and whatever. So, I mean, having it competitive as it was a little bit off for me, but I didn't think I had no doubt the Tonga team was going to win this one.
And Tama Tonga's finisher is still not sold on it yet, really.
Yeah, I like his little crawl across the floor.
And the gremlin crawl. Yeah.
Everybody's saying Tonga Loa's more crazy than Tama Tonga, but Tama, whatever Tonga is really, really embracing this crazy, rabid, style. It's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting.
It is. Yeah. Adds a new dimension.
Yeah, try keeping a straight face with that one. So, moving on, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven had a tag team match because we saw Bayley backstage after the attack, and Naomi came to her, aid and decided they were going to have a tag match. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green against Bayley and Naomi.
Yeah, nothing crazy. The crowd was very happy to see Bayley and Naomi do a match, of course. So that was cool. Yeah. Yeah,
they're both very over. And like I said, for being where, especially Bayley, but Naomi as well, seeing where they're at, despite how over they are, it's a little bit interesting. It was a back and forth, regular style. I think, Niven and Green kind of had the upper hand most of the match. There was kind of a comeback with Naomi and Bayley, and then we got the upset, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it was definitely an upset. I'll say that. Yeah.
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven defeated Naomi, but
Chelsea Green got the pin too, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit curious.
It's fucking bullshit. No.
Yeah. It just wasn't. So, okay, so we're talking about how great being at the event was. I'll tell you what's not great about the event. First and foremost, we already mentioned it, and it's got to be beaten into the ground. Pretty Deadly wasn't there.
Right.
What the fuck are we doing?
That's 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So number 4, Bayley and Naomi don't win.
Yep.
I know it's storyline moving forward, but it'd been cool to see a strong win by Bayley.
I agree.
Number 5, we got backstage promos by LA Knight, and LA Knight never came out.
Yes.
Now, I don't know about you. I don't know, how you felt about it or whatever, but when LA Knight came on the screen, those were the loudest pops of the night.
It was, and it made it seem like he was on his way to the ring, almost the way that they filmed it, I thought. But
yeah. And going back, because we skipped over it because we're just focusing on the action in the ring, LA Knight met up with Nick Aldis and back, and he said straight up, where's Logan Paul? I'm coming for his title. You know?
Yeah.
And got a huge pop from the crowd.
And it said Logan Paul wasn't there, which didn't get a pop. It got boos and disappointment.
Yeah. So, and it was, whatever, but, it would have been nice to at least have him come out even after the show, after it went off the air.
Dark match or say something or.
Yeah, just come out and thank the crowd for being there or, something. But, it is what it is. I was a little disappointed I didn't get to see LA Knight live, but.
And he had a little promo back and forth with Mello backstage.
Yeah.
And Mello messed up what he said.
Yeah.
In his words, and LA Knight didn't let it slide.
No.
He said, welcome to the WWE,
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure Yeah. It was good, man. Everything he does is good. I hope they're really pushing. Well, they're obviously they're going him against Logan Paul, possibly SummerSlam, and I really hope they put the title on him. I mean, you gotta go with a hot hand, and there's not many wrestlers in the company as hot with the crowd as LA Knight is right now.
Yeah, it'd be a great time because he's obviously not going to be going for the championship, right?
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see Money in the Bank time maybe, but I think the U.S. championship would fit him perfectly.
Yeah.
And him and Logan Paul, come on.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Good promos, good match, I'm sure. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Everything. Feed me more of that.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't the main event. It was just the final segment of the night. We had AJ Styles backstage talking to Nick Aldis earlier in the night.
Yeah, throughout
saying he was going to
night.
address his future. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And the way they built this up, they swerved me. I mean, I kind of caught on
At
a little
towards the
bit.
end, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
That it may.
So
Yeah.
AJ Styles was teasing retiring.
Yeah.
And he was coming out to the ring. And what really made me buy into it, I took the bait when he asked Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to come out with him.
Right.
Because when he walked up to them backstage and said, "I want you guys out there with me for this,"
Mm-hmm.
I said out loud, I'm like, dude, he's actually retiring right now.
Yeah, and so from what I've seen, like online and IWC, everybody's being like, "Oh, we saw this coming," blah 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 blah. You didn't fool us, but I'm gonna tell you, being in the crowd from the start of the night till it happened, watching the crowd and listening to the crowd, like 90% of those people thought he was retiring. There's some people I heard that were sad. They're like, "Oh, blah blah," and
yeah,
so,
there was like a feeling.
Yeah,
there was a feeling in the arena, like that we were like we were going to witness this, like
and on
he's retiring.
Yeah, and on the backstage, AJ looked very emotional. Like he acted and played it very well, and same with everybody that he kind of came in contact with what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when he came out to the ring and was talking out in the ring, was very emotional, and the crowd was eating it up, and a lot of "thank you AJ" chants. And I wanted to start that like French phenomenal chant, but like I could not remember what it was. So I thought that would have been a kind of a cool, he would have probably popped for that a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that wasn't happening. So
they did that.
So yeah, he did the Too Sweet with the OC, and
Yep.
yeah, it was like really, it was kind of like an emotion. It just felt like that's what it was going to be.
They were definitely giving him his flowers, regardless of what was going to happen next.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
He said, "I've been phenomenal in the ring. Now I want to go be a phenomenal father."
Yeah.
And like everything about it was leading me to believe like this is it. Like he's retiring, until
I was like, "Oh shit." Yeah.
Yeah. I thought like SmackDown was going off the air, like whatever,
Yeah.
until he called Cody Rhodes out.
And then
ran a little long.
Yeah.
So Cody Rhodes came out to the ring, no title, no whatever. I didn't even get to fucking gaze my eyes on the fucking Universal title, but came out to the ring, which really, okay, so he didn't have the pyro, he didn't have all this different stuff. He just came out to the ring, walked out to the ring, and which really kind of had me back and forth again, like what's really going to happen. And they had, when they started talking to each other in the ring, I was like, okay. I was like, it was like shades of Mark Henry retiring with John Cena.
It was spot on, Mark Henry and John Cena. Oh yeah, it was great. And Mark, I had listened to Mark Henry do a little interview after this the other day, and talk about how close it was, like exactly spot on, and he loved it. He felt like it paid like so much homage and felt so respected and grateful for it and everything, because Mark Henry even wore like the powdered pink suit, and AJ Styles had on the powdered little baby blue suit and stuff. And it was just, master class. Yeah,
it was. And it was sold really well. And Cody was showing a lot of emotion, and it was like a will they, won't they,
As soon as he kept holding like his hand up that many times, I heard somebody down in the crowd finally say, "Okay, here it comes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and this was the thing too, was when they were holding their hands up together and stuff, I looked at my phone and it said 9:56.
Yep.
And when I saw it was 9:56,
yep,
I said, all right, here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. And the phenomenal one is not going anywhere.
Nope.
We're not sorry if we tricked you with the name of this episode, but
the
phenomenal one is staying, and he took his aggression out on the Universal, United, Undisputed, underwear heavyweight champion Cody Rhodes, and even gave him a Styles Clash off the steps onto the floor.
Yeah.
Which Cody Rhodes sold that better than Orange Cassidy sold a pile driver on the steel steps. But
for sure. Yeah.
And as SmackDown went off the air, AJ Styles and the OC was walking towards the back, but he wasn't done yet.
Oh no.
Came back out, and I think Cody Rhodes was having flashbacks to when Mama Rhodes used to beat him down backstage. When he was a child.
Yeah. Yeah. He took a hell of a beating. That's for sure.
Yeah, and what a way to put over the potential match coming up. I'm assuming that's going to be Clash at the Castle.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that they needed something to get to SummerSlam, and what a better way to build it than just being like, okay, we're going to have another match because we just had one at Backlash. So I feel like this is probably like the best case scenario to set up a match between these two again. Like there was no better way to do it, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it was great. It was cool. I got to witness that in person too. Like and
it can feed into Nick Aldis telling AJ Styles he's got to go to the back of the line, but now Cody's going to come out and tell Nick Aldis, no, I want him.
Like
I don't care if he's the number one contender or whatnot. I want him.
Yep.
So
it's
gonna be pretty cool moving forward. It's gonna put on another great match. It's gonna be another. They faced each other in France. Now they're going to face each other potentially in Scotland. And it gives, and it feeds into this right here. This is what I was thinking watching it.
Okay.
AJ Styles said, if my final match was going to be against anybody, I wanted it to be against you. So is this one going to be his final match?
Oh, really? Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't think he's going to beat Cody. And
no.
So is this one going to be his final match? You know what I mean? Like,
could be. I mean, I hope not. He still looks like he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
But I know he does have a lot of problems with like his back, I believe.
His back and shit.
So, yeah, you never
maybe he
know.
just wants to be a phenomenal father.
But again, like, great job by AJ Styles and Cody and everything, just selling that, and like just the whole retirement thing and the throwback to Mark Henry, like. Bravo. Like, killed it.
Even the OC selling the emotion of the moment,
Yeah.
It's really good. So then we didn't go home empty-handed though, because after SmackDown went off air, we're just going to cover this quick, I guess, because not a lot of people saw it, except for who's in the arena.
Right.
But we got a couple dark matches, man, and it wasn't SmackDown talent. First, we had Sheamus versus
Ladies and gentlemen.
Didn't mean to step on you there.
Good.
Ludwig Kaiser. And what a hard-hitting, brawling sort of match they had. They had faced each other on this past week's Raw, but we got to kind of see a preview of that in the dark match. And this one, Sheamus came out on top. So didn't really want to send the crowd home unhappy with what happened with Cody. So first we had Sheamus come out on top, and it was a good setup. I'm glad, we'll talk about Raw in a second, but I'm glad they didn't just do like a mirror match of what they did in the dark match. I'm glad they mixed it up.
Yeah, it was different.
They mixed it up. It wasn't just like a rehearsal for their match that was coming up on Raw. But then the second match we had Drew McIntyre against Jey Uso.
Uso down sense.
Yo,
just me.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I think that shit's okay. So legitimately, like, whatever. We tell you guys like it is. So the Uso Yeet thing, when I watch it on TV, I find it a bit corny.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I'm just kind of like, okay, like, it's cool, but whatever. But man, when you're in that arena, when everybody's doing it,
Yeah.
you're doing it too.
It's hype
like,
now. It's hype.
Yeah,
Like it's
bro.
gone now. Like at first
Yeah.
it was like, okay, maybe I'll do it. I don't want to, but now like
Yeah,
when you go like
everybody looking.
everybody doing it now. Like you don't feel
Yeah.
weird. Like like
No, it's a good time, and everybody like
Yeah.
people around you were all like where I was, like everybody was like laughing and having a good time and just like in it,
Yeah.
and like it was cool. It was real cool. It was kind of a fun.
Yeah.
And he just kept doing it, and then
Yeah, it was a yeet
Drew
fest. A yeet
Yeah,
complete
yeah.
yeet fest.
Everybody was yeeting everywhere. I mean,
Yeah, it was
yeah. It was a sticky situation.
They had to
We
clean up a lot of
going
yeet
on.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had never seen so much yeet in one place at one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Drew McIntyre came out, and the match didn't start for 5 minutes because
it was
Jey
good.
Uso kept getting the crowd to yeet, was going around like the arena doing one side and the other side and the other side.
Yep.
Even had the referee.
Yes.
We even got to see the referee yeet a little bit.
Yep.
He
even tried to get Drew to do it. Did Drew even he's well
I got a video of it. I'm gonna put it on our Twitter. So he
maybe I'll show some on
that.
here too. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if it doesn't get
flag
taken down, you might get to see Drew yeet a little bit. But I didn't get on. I stopped it beforehand, but they were building it up. Like the referee and Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre were all like building up the whole yeet thing. They were building up the climax, and right before they'd go down, Drew like kneed Jey Uso and knocked him down.
Yeah.
And then started like mocking it like afterwards.
Yes, and Drew had grabbed the mic too, and he wouldn't take off his kilt to start the match. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Classic heel.
Yeah, classic heel
stuff.
And he cut a little promo on CM Punk too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
I thought CM Punk was coming out.
You thought so. I was like, "Oh god, I hope so." I said he messaged me. I said, "If CM Punk comes out, I will get a CM Punk tattoo because he ain't coming out."
Yeah.
I knew it, but we'll have to wait. We'll see. I'll make my prediction. If CM Punk wins the championship at WrestleMania, I will get a CM Punk tattoo.
You're going to get one anyway.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was back and forth. It was just a lot of fun. It was just a fun match to send the fans home with.
Yeah.
And the finish was Drew McIntyre kicked Jey Uso in the balls.
Yeah. It was great.
And that's not cool, Oos. And got disqualified, and then got on the mic and was like, my foot slipped. And Jey Uso had a little bit of a fight back after, gave him a spear, gave him the Uso splash, and sent everyone home happy, So except for Pretty Deadly not being there.
Yeah, and it would have been like differently had it been on TV because Drew was playing into the whole humor and comedy side of it too, while still being the heel, just for the audience.
He played that audience really well.
Yeah,
and it was nice. It was a earthquake. There was a nice. It was a nice way, like I said, nice way to send them home. It was a way to play the crowd and have him not take himself so seriously. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, when they said before the event started that I think they're trying to hype the crowd up for when the cameras got turned on. They said that there was going to be 2 dark matches, and one was Kaiser against Sheamus, and the other one was Jey Uso against Drew McIntyre. When I heard that, I said, "We ain't leaving."
Yeah, no,
we ain't leaving.
Not for the yeet. No, we here for the yeet.
Don't leave before the yeet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was SmackDown, and it was a pretty good time.
Drew had said when he was cutting his little promo on CM Punk that he's going to win the championship at Clash at the Castle, and then CM Punk can face him at SummerSlam for the championship, and he'll kick his ass there. Yeah. Kick his face off or whatever it was. But we'll see. But
I was going to say foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard it here. We're breaking the news first.
Yeah.
We're a news breaking podcast.
Ringside Renaissance. Breaking news report.
Our sources have told us. So that was SmackDown. It was a pretty good time. It was, fun being there, fun event. It was a better TV taping than I've been to in the past. So
the only other thing that I was disappointed about was the women's tag team champions had a little backstage promo spot with Jade and Bianca Belair, but they never came out and had a match.
Yeah,
But
that was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
And
but we got it on
almost
Raw.
made me, yeah, it almost made me feel like a lot of these like backstage segments were just pre-taped.
Could have been
like to move
Yeah.
forward, because like why would you fly all these people all the way out just to have little backstage? Whatever,
Yeah.
but
but
it is what it is.
Yeah, but you had Jey there, Uso, which is Monday Night Raw at SmackDown,
Yeah.
which was interesting. But
Yeah.
the following night, I believe they were in White Plains, New York, for a house show.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. So they were probably around. That's true.
yeah,
Yeah. So moving to Monday Night Raw, and
Monday
Night
Night
Raw. This
Raw.
I don't even remember what the fucking old music to it. Monday Night Raw opened up. We had Liv Morgan come out.
Yeah, let's go. The Live Revenge Tour still running wild. The audience was hot too. They were ready.
I'm surprised she's like really leaning into this, like she's a hoe character. like she's a hoe storyline. Like she is really, really leaning into this. And I was like, man, if I was,
it's 2024, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, but what I want, if I was a women's wrestler and a women's champion, would I want my whole championship title run storyline built around just me being a complete hoe?
She's all about the clout, though. Like
Yeah.
So she don't care. She came out, looking good with those. She had like these high white heels on. Well, they weren't necessarily heels. Well, they were, but they weren't like. I don't know. I don't know shoes, but she was way taller than normal.
Well, the kiss last week, they had multiple like pictures of her like up on her tippy toes trying to kiss Dom.
Oh, okay.
Because of like what they had to do in the ring tonight, I'm sure she had to wear higher shoes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it now. That makes sense.
It's those little details that really make the production over the top, But
absolutely,
she came out, man. I can't even stand her fucking talking.
You don't like it?
I cannot stand it, bro. I cannot stand it. It looks like Bumpo the Clown put her fucking makeup on for her.
Oh, jeez.
Like,
come on.
It's like,
come on.
So
come
bad.
on.
It's so bad.
I thought she did good. I thought she did good. The audience was in it. She came out. She leans right into it. Welcome to the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I want her to get more heat, though, still. Like, she needs more heat.
She can't because she sucks.
I thought she did pretty good. Like, I thought her acting was pretty good. Like, her yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. Like
because I feel like it's close to reality somewhat. Like her person, you know what I'm saying? So like it's not. There's some bits of truth and reality in that character with her. I think maybe not.
I can buy into that.
Yeah.
No,
I apologize if I'm wrong, Liv. But anytime you want to come on a podcast and talk about it,
please don't
hit us up. Hit me up.
Please don't.
Hit me up. We'll get it.
If I had to sit here and listen to her fucking talk like that for an hour, but
you wouldn't have to. I'll handle that. All
right. Yeah. I'm okay with stepping away for an episode.
Okay.
To make sure you do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate you taking the sacrifice for that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you fucking having to sacrifice your eardrums for that bullshit.
Oh, I'd sacrifice a lot more than that. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you got a chance. She's going through a lot of them. She's gonna run out of wrestlers soon. She might have to go to Wrestling Fans. So
yeah, that's true. Well, I'm a wrestling journalist. I'm much more prestigious now.
So we had her doing her shit in the ring, and Dom comes out to the ring,
interrupts her disrespectfully. Like, I still want to hear what you have to say, Liv. Like, I'm sorry he rudely, distastefully disrespected you and came out when you were still talking. Like, I wanted to hear what she had to say, but
and this is the problem too. Like, Liv is the one on the revenge tour against Rhea Ripley, but Dom's getting all the heat from the crowd.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him talk even.
Yeah, I mean that's like a normal Dom thing.
He knows
but
it
like,
now too. Like even more
Yeah,
so. Like it's
he works it really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. And but the thing too is like I said, like Liv's supposed to be one getting all the heat, and it's Dom getting all the heat. So it's kind of
yeah. I guess I could see where that's a little tricky.
it muddies it a little bit. But he came out and basically said, when Rhea comes back, she's gonna kill you. You know.
Yeah.
And
she said no. She might want to kill me, but she's gonna want to kill you too.
Can we like? Okay,
She played
I know
it
it's
good.
a show.
She played it good, man. Like, yeah.
But I know it's a show. But like I said before, I've said it previously. Like, social media ruins all this shit because I'm not gonna say everybody.
Yeah.
A large portion of the audience knows that Dom is married.
Yeah.
Like in real life, and you know, whatever. So this whole storyline, to me, misses the mark because
Well, it was quite the kiss for a married man, though. You know, I'll say that.
she's got like frog lips.
It was, I don't know. Well, there might be some Botox in there, but you know,
maybe,
yeah,
maybe. Jesus,
there's probably some
Christ,
tongue in there too. Who knows?
I don't want to know what else is in. Moving on. So, you know, she backs Dom up in the corner and starts giving him a little rub down, and who comes
plays
in,
with his mullet. Yeah.
He's got to use some of that grease as lube.
Guess he likes getting his hair pulled. Yeah. He definitely likes being dominated. Yeah.
Dom likes
and
being dominated.
He couldn't take the Riz from Liv, which I've seen, you know, people her backstage or like at signings, people try to like kind of mac on her a little bit, and she throws their Riz on and they automatically crumble. Yeah. And he was no different to her charm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay. Well, who comes in? Finn Balor comes in Judgment Day gear to kind of break it up and tell her, hey, listen, like, you know, you need to stay away
from
whatever.
my boy. He's daddy now, apparently. Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm much... Please don't take this the wrong way. Finn Balor is much more attractive than Liv Morgan.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, it's 2024. If mommy is dominating Dom, maybe Finn is daddy and dominating Dom also. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And no, there's nothing wrong with that. We support wherever you come from.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, as a person, not male, no female, Finn Balor's, he'd get it. So, Liv
that 6-pack
was leaving the. That's an 8-pack.
It is, yeah. There might be even a 12-pack. Yeah.
You wouldn't have to put a 12-pack in me to have a shot with Finn Balor. So 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 Liv was leaving the ring and kind of rubbed Dom's back, and he was smiling. I think he broke character. Honestly, I don't think he was supposed to smile and shit. I think it just. In the moment, I think he kind of broke character.
You think he's in the doghouse at home? A little bit?
Nah.
He just wrote a little check and said, "Go shopping. You're good." Probably.
Yeah. He's in the Dom house.
Yeah, that Mysterio family.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure about all that, but I think, you know,
he's done hard time though.
Like,
so, you know, it's.
Yeah, I think they were just, it was like them just kind of goofing off, and I don't know if maybe he didn't expect her to kind of like rub his back, but to me it seemed like he broke character more than he was going with the storyline.
She seemed like she did a little bit too when she was doing it, just to kind of like improvise a little bit, and they both thought it was funny or what. I agree. Yeah.
So, which might hurt the storyline moving forward with that. I mean, facials and stuff is very important, and to see him like laughing, and then Pat McAfee highlighted it later on. And,
oh yeah, especially with this whole angle, facials are very important.
Yeah.
Got to stay true to the story.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, nothing's better than a good facial. Yeah. So, and as I just said that, like, again, and I beat it to death, but like, shout out to Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. They really like highlight a lot of these moments and stuff. And commentators really make or break like stories and angles and matches and stuff, and I think they really do a good job week in and week out. Even Corey Graves and Wade Barrett do as well. But I just think that the intensity and the passion that Pat McAfee and Michael Cole show and their chemistry together is really good.
Oh yeah, they're at an all-time high. They've been they're
and the amount of stuff that Pat McAfee does on a daily basis, let alone weekly basis, and for him to be able to fly to all these arenas every week and still make the show and still put on a performance and not just mail it in, like it's a lot of credit, a lot of respect out to him for that.
Yeah, shout out. Awesome. Yeah. Pat McAfee show, all that. Yep.
Yeah, everything, man. He's in a soccer tournament right now.
Yeah.
Like he's down in North Carolina right now in a soccer tournament. You know, it's like he just doesn't stop. You know,
he really loves it. Yeah.
And respect to him for it. A lot of respect. Definitely. So after that whole segment, we had the rematch.
Yes.
Between
ladies and gentlemen, Ludwig Kaiser. And the one other thing you missed out on at being at SmackDown Live was your favorite ring announcer from Raw, Samantha Irvin, doing the, you got to miss out on.
She was at SmackDown?
No, you missed her. You didn't get to see her.
Yeah. Oh, I missed her. Yeah. I thought you meant I missed her and I didn't see her.
No,
like,
yeah.
No. This woman, I apologize. I don't remember her name. She was from NXT. She just got called up from NXT, and I thought she did a great job.
No, she was good.
SmackDown.
Yeah. But I know how much you love Samantha Irvin. Her voice.
Oh, shout out to Samantha Irvin. She's doing better.
Yeah,
she's doing better. I think like the big events, WrestleMania and stuff, she overemphasizes a little bit, but I don't hate her.
Yeah.
So you know what? She's living her dream and doing what she's got to do. So you can't hate on that. So,
yeah.
Except for if you're Liv Morgan. So we had Ludwig Kaiser against Sheamus in the long-awaited rematch that no one saw, the first one.
Sheamus' intro was great too when he came out and came into the entrance and stuff from backstage. They filmed it from backstage. It was good.
Yeah. Those camera shots are real cool. Like it was. I like the production value that they're doing with a lot of those.
Yes.
This was hard hitting, man. Like Kaiser legit hasn't had any, if not any of a singles run at all in WWE on the main roster, on the main shows. And
he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it. With the promos, talking backstage, like he doesn't need Gunther, like Yeah.
And that's a bold prediction for SummerSlam. Stay tuned for that for me. I'm not going to drop it now, but hard hitting. They were both getting welted right up, and he was staying right with Sheamus. I didn't really buy into the referee keep asking Sheamus, do you want to quit? Do you want to quit? Because again, if you look at the size difference between these two, it's
because Kaiser kept going after his leg and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'd like to see Kaiser put a little weight on him. Maybe he'd be a little bit more menacing and more believable. I mean, he looks like a high school track star trying to wrestle.
But
he's
he very
can do
lean
what he's doing. His appearance is just a little bit off-putting for me. But at the end of the day, Ludwig Kaiser beat Sheamus one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the start of a monster singles push for Kaiser. You never know.
Yeah.
So it was good in a convincing fashion too. Like you said, worked the leg and got the 1, 2, 3 and on to the next one. I'm interested moving forward because that's going to tie back into Gunther moving forward. So, which we didn't see on the show this week.
No, we didn't.
The Ring General was not even on. The King of the Ring was not even on Raw, I don't believe.
No, he wasn't. Yeah. Interesting.
So, interesting little fact there. Then we had, which I thought was the match of the night and one of my favorite matches I'll say on regular TV in quite a while. Finn Balor against Dragon Lee.
Yes. We got a little quick vignette before the match started to show us, in case you forgot or you didn't know who Dragon Lee is or was. They showed it to kind of highlight his NXT and stuff like that. Yeah.
And Dragon Lee's good, man. He can go. He's kind of a cool modern luchador. Finn Balor's still got it, Finn Balor, I think, has always had it. It's just a shame, the injury bug has kind of hit him.
Right,
and This was a good match. It's good back and forth. Yeah, I don't think Finn Balor has really had a highlighted singles match like recently, so it was cool to see him actually in the ring and doing what he does best.
Yeah.
And Dragon Lee held up with him, kept up with him.
Oh yeah. Finn is great. Yeah.
And it tied into the LWO Judgment Day kind of feud going on, so it highlighted that. Yeah, at the end of the day, we saw the coup de grace. Finn Balor got a win over Dragon Lee, but I don't think this hurt Dragon Lee at all.
No, he didn't look bad. He was able to be in the ring with a great wrestler that made him look great too, and him losing in that way, he didn't lose in a fashion that he looked bad, like you said. So moving on,
even just
they're gonna, they're trying to put him up there. Yeah.
And even just having Dragon Lee in a match on TV right now is good for him. It gives him some exposure,
right?
And like the fans that aren't too familiar with his style or his matches or whatever, at least they get to see him and stuff. And if they don't have anything for him right now anyway, what better way? Like if they keep putting him in matches and he keeps performing the way he did, then I think he's gonna naturally start to get over with the crowd.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so the crowd pops for him too, and his moves and all that. Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's gonna win a world title or anything.
Right.
But
no, he's a mid-carder for sure.
Yeah.
But
I think he's got a spot on the roster for sure if they start highlighting him a little bit more.
Probably got a spot at that speed championship too.
Oh, you think? Imagine like him versus like Kalisto. Remember Kalisto back in the day? Him versus Kalisto would be like really cool matches.
Yeah.
Kalisto was with what's his face there that had like 10 different versions of himself. I don't remember. The guy used to jump off the trampoline. Anyway, going off subject there, but Dragon Lee I thought had a solid performance there. Then we had the ongoing blood feud between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. Right. We're about peaking with this one, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for this. But...
Yeah. You're not feeling it?
Not feeling it.
No. Yeah, so Sami came out first, right, and cut his promo more again. Yeah, it's kind of more of the same stuff. I think the crowd was into it though for the most part. It seemed like Sami, regardless if you think it's kind of played out at this point, which it's kind of been going for a while, but the crowd was into it, like emotionally invested still with what Sami is saying. They've kind of moved on to the next stage of the story a little more with him trying to pull the Alpha Academy away, right?
Yeah. Yep. Trying to, I don't know. It's just the rah speech over and over again, and
they come out and he's talking to them, and he doesn't deserve you. He disrespects all of you. Blah 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 blah. Maxine was like reading a note or a letter. Chad gave them to read to him, and then Chad Gable sneaks up behind Sami and fucks him up. Yeah.
I like Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah.
Something about her character.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Kind of that like
you can kind of emotionally invest in it, or like relatable in some type of way or something. And
and I'm not saying it to be like offensive or anything, but kind of like the airheaded, like don't know any better character, but like still, whatever.
Likable. Yeah,
very likable. I'm like, I don't really give a shit about Tozawa.
Yeah, that he's kind of just in there like to play like the same type of thing, I guess. And they needed somebody, and Otis too. Yeah, Otis is funny. He's got his moments. He's very animated too. Yeah, which is good. Yeah.
And it's just like at a certain point, just like pull the trigger on it. Like, how long? This isn't the Bloodline versus Bloodline storyline, or this isn't Punk versus Drew McIntyre, or This isn't any of those storylines, or even like Priest versus Drew McIntyre. This isn't any of those storylines. This is fucking Sami Zayn in the Alpha
So
Academy.
move it
Like,
along. You say, yeah,
move,
quicker.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get this show on the fucking road here.
I've enjoyed Gable a little more than I usually have, though. I'm never been like too big of a fan of him as far as like promos and stuff like that. Like, he's great in the ring, of course, like extremely talented, but he's been able to shine lately because of this story, because of Sami, you know.
Okay, I can buy into that.
And you got the Alpha Academy kind of stepping in and not taking part in the beating again, and then Sami hits Otis into Maxine, and she hurts her ankle on the outside of the ring.
It's a travesty.
And Otis
real travesty.
slams Sami, and
then Otis picks up Maxine and Tozawa and carries them both out together.
Like, leaves Chad in the ring.
Kind of comical.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a comical thing. It's nothing. With the little tidbits of comedy at the end, it's like, okay, then the desperation part of it kind of goes away from me. It's like, okay, they're shooting more for comedy.
Yeah.
I think they should have really had more of a Maxine Dupree revenge tour than Liv Morgan. I really think Maxine Dupree would have knocked it out of the park when Liv Morgan's really just hitting a grounder to third. But
they can always feed her to Liv at some point, and then you'll like her more.
Jesus. Feed Liv more. So moving on, we had this whole thing with Braun Breaker and Ricochet, and even Ilya Dragunov kind of playing on for a few weeks,
right.
And we had Dragunov and Ricochet kind of have a little backstage thing, and Braun Breaker's suspension was lifted, so Ricochet could fight him. And
it wasn't my favorite moment of this whole feud, and because Braun seemed a little more like normal this time, and not like as pissed off, like, and just like out of his mind. So he's all of a sudden just happy again, and he's content with just facing Ricochet now. But he wanted to be in the King of the Ring. He wants more, but Ricochet is good enough for now,
Yeah, and it was kind of cool. Again, Pat McAfee called him the dog-faced gremlin, which was his father's name.
Yeah, okay.
Rick Steiner's nickname was the dog-faced gremlin, so that's kind of a cool thing. I don't think that was a Fed line. I think that's
the crowd. Yeah.
I think it's just, Pat being a wrestling fan, just dropping that in for people to kind of pick up on. And
they're still building them though.
Yeah, and it's cool to see him in the ring, like his intensity flying around the ring and stuff. And obviously he beats Ricochet. There isn't going to be, there wasn't too much. And then Samantha Irvin's got to announce that Braun Breaker just destroyed her fiance.
Which got to play in every match with Ricochet now. Whatever.
So then Braun Breaker started to do the beatdown of Ricochet after the match, almost like he did to that jobber a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And who came out for the save? The Maestro.
Yes.
You missed me doing the fucking hands thing, bro. I tried to pop you. God damn it. And Ilya Dragunov came out and with one foul swoop knocked Braun Breaker over the barricade into the crowd.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker didn't jump back over and incite a riot or anything like that. That was kind of just...
So we know what we're going to get next then. Throwback to NXT. Yeah.
Right.
Breaker versus Dragunov. Yeah. Which is cool.
So which will probably be decent, but with the way they're building Braun Breaker, I don't think they should give him anything but squashes right now. Like the match with Ricochet was too competitive for me.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to get buried and lose, and he needs to keep building his momentum.
Yeah, and I think he needs to be dominant. I think he needs to have dominant wins. I don't think these competitive back and forths are kind of doing him any favors, you know. So next we had Braun Strowman versus Carlito. Carlito representing the Judgment Day, and is Braun Strowman part of the LWO?
He may be affiliated.
Did he do a 23andMe and find out that he has a little bit of Latino in him?
Maybe.
Yeah, Monty, help us out. I mean, maybe they just accepted him in the culture. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently he's part of the LWO, and he came out and defeated Carlito
Yeah.
And I think there should be a switch. Braun Strowman should be in the Judgment Day, and Carlito should be in the LWO. I think this is kind of a
Yeah, that might make sense. Yeah.
Carlito is trying to earn his cuts, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out Sons of Anarchy. Wasn't nothing here for me.
No. He won.
Yeah. And you had Jade and Bianca come out and cut a promo and get interrupted by Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, who say they want a shot at the titles. And Bianca and Jade sounded pretty good on the mic here too. She sounded like she was she's steadily improving. I don't see her regressing. I just keep seeing her progressing. You know?
Absolutely. So, yeah, and just her being with Bianca, just doing wonders too. You know, like being able to be with that talent, and it also just stood out for me, that match, how great Bianca is. Yeah.
So we had Adam Pearce come out and make it official, and they had a women's tag team match, tag team titles, and like you said, I mean, put on a solid performance. All 4 of these women are good workers.
Zoe Stark is it's awesome. They added
so
her
good.
too. She's great.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy watching her, and they made it believable too. Her and Shayna against Jade and Bianca, like they hurt them a little bit, like in knees to the face, and Yeah, and it just looks good. It looks solid, and I don't know, man. The disqualification leaves the door open for maybe a rematch in the future. Yeah.
Because there was a disqualification at the end. Jade and Bianca get attacked, and leads to a DQ, and at least they're trying to put some spotlight and a little bit of shine around the women's tag team titles, and it's not just like every few weeks just throw a women's tag title match just to have one, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's a way to show and debut, and put them up there, Jade and Bianca too, and have a relevant, legitimate way of having them on at least once a week, and having it mean
more. Shout out. And it's a real testament to the professionalism of Bianca Belair to, like, she's still a top, I would say a top singles women's wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for her to put maybe her ego aside or something to kind of take Jade under her wing and move along with this storyline and stuff is just a real testament to her professionalism. And shout out to her for that, because she could still be a top contender in the women's title, picture if needed. But her taking this time to help Jade out, I think, is shows a lot of character for her. Obviously they got to take what's given to them, but she's really running with it, and I think really helping Jade, because you can see it in Jade's promos, you can see it in the ring. I think a lot of Bianca is like kind of rubbing off on
one
her.
thing I noticed too is still not like there completely for Jade. And I don't know if she's really doing it, but it looks like when she's kicking the women, sometimes it looks like she's really still kicking them, like in the gut when she does like those gut kicks, like she's like putting some more into it still, like
or maybe she's just
but it's
just selling it like real good. I don't know, but she looks
those kicks.
I'm lucky. I'm happy. I'm not taking them.
So at this point in the
maybe unlucky.
At this point in the WWE, they've got to be the greatest women's tag team champions of all time, right? I mean,
I would say close to it. I mean, most dominant. I mean, and it's been a short run, but Bailey and Sasha was pretty good, but I'd put them up there even just in their short run. I wouldn't take them out of the conversation. That's for sure.
Right.
So then we had, Jey Uso came out in the crowd, and
that was good.
Just had a promo, and I think he leans into the yeet thing too much, like when he's talking. He wants it to be like the Stone Cold What's or whatever, and a lot of times the crowd doesn't pick up when he's done talking, so they don't really give it like back very well.
Right.
So.
When it's him and his brother, they kind of would ping pong off of each other.
Right.
Great with it. One would say something, then it would be the next, and then it'd go back and forth, and they knew what to do. And he tried to do that with the crowd, and they didn't quite understand what he was doing at first, and then they caught on, and it was fine. But
yeah. So he just declares himself he's going to be Mr. Yeet in the Bank. And,
yeah, money in the yeet or yeet in the bank. He was asking on social media what people prefer.
I prefer him just not say yeet,
Yeah.
but
the crowd loved it though. He was in the audience, like all the kids were around, like everybody was giving high fives, dapping people up. Gave his glasses to the kids, like the Bret Hart move kind of and stuff, and it was cool. They were relating, and he was just doing great with that. So
yeah, he's definitely over with the crowd, and it's cool. I think to put Money in the Bank's a little ways away, but I think it'd be too obvious to kind of put it on him. But
yeah,
time will tell. Moving down the line, stay tuned for our thoughts and opinions.
They're building it. They're building for it. Yeah.
So then we had the Authors of Pain versus the New Day. Xavier Woods, will he? Won't he?
Yeah, just filler. I don't know.
Don't care. Yeah, I'm not into this really at all.
I love the New Day too, of course, but it's whatever.
Past the point.
Yeah.
So, and then for our main event, we had Damien Priest versus Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
I was surprised with this match. I thought it was pretty
better
good.
Than you thought it would be. Yeah.
Really good. Really good. Yeah. Better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I just, didn't. Yeah, I was surprised because I didn't understand why it would be the main event and just put Rey in it. But, Rey is that, Hall of Famer. And of course, was champion stuff. So he deserves a main event spot. But sometimes he's mid card, sometimes he's here, sometimes he's there. And it was just kind of random, I thought, for an opponent for Damien Priest. But they needed Damien to be in the main event for the story. So they needed somebody relevant, I guess.
Yeah. But they put on a great match, though.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The Rey Mysterio has been wrestling 30 plus years or something like that. And like, he's still got it. Like, he can still go. And it's not seeing him in the ring isn't like a charity case where it's like, oh Jesus, it's one of these old wrestlers that just can't let it go.
Oh no, it's extremely impressive. Yeah. And if
competitive.
If he's in the ring with somebody that can wrestle and can work, they're gonna have a good match. Like Ray don't mess around. Yeah.
Right. And it was cool, like Damien Priest really blended to Rey Mysterio's style very well.
Yeah.
And he impressed me with that because we haven't seen too much in the way of like Damien Priest singles matches as of late. I mean, he was he was tag team champions with Finn Balor
for a while.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like to be able to hold his own in the ring, and a lot of credit to Rey Mysterio being a professional and probably leading that match a little bit.
Yeah, because Rey is one of the great smaller guys to be able to of all time to be able to be in the ring with these big guys and make it look good.
Right.
Still.
Right.
Yeah.
And it impressed me because, like I said, I mean, I haven't seen much of Damien Priest singles lately, so maybe he'll have a little bit of rust. He didn't have somebody else to kind of carry a match or whatever. But I think he held his own, and I think that was really impressive as far as a main event match that we knew who was going to win. I didn't have any question of who was going to win, but I was still invested in the match because of like it just being done so well.
Yeah, and you knew some type of fuckery was going to happen. You were thinking, Yeah. And it sure did.
Yeah. So, it was cool. It was a nice finish to the show, and it was solid. Like I said, it was a solid. It was a very good like back and forth at the end, like them fighting on the ropes, Rey doing like a Hurricane Rana off the top rope. I can't even roll out of bed some mornings without hurting. Yeah. So for him to be like still doing that and shit is pretty wild, pretty cool to see. Damien Priest selling was very well. Overall I think it was a really great match. Obviously, we got the South of Heaven from the top rope down for the win, which was pretty cool to see. It was kind of, a cool way to do it to finish the match. And then we had kind of our little post-match thing, if you would like to touch on that one.
Yeah, so Drew comes out, right, and gets the better of Damian Priest, which I thought which kind of was unpredictable. I didn't predict what was to happen after that, because I thought that it was kind of going to end like that, with Drew getting the better of Damian Priest. But it didn't, because you had the Judgment Day coming out and doing what they're supposed to do. All rise, and helping the champion, their leader, Damian Priest, and they put Drew through the table.
Yeah, and it was because they teased it back
put
and
him
forth.
Through the table,
and,
right? Or is he just they beat him on the table?
Put him right through the announce table. Yeah, through the announce table. Drew cleared it off because he was going to put Damien through it, and there was a reverse, which is really interesting because I thought Drew was going to look strong here leading up to Clash at the Castle, just for Damian Priest to pull it out, you know?
Right.
And for them to have Damian Priest doing that, it was kind of interesting to see them. That's the direction they went with it, But so it kind of leaves a little bit of seeds of doubt in your head, like what's going to happen at Clash of the Castle,
And then they stood tall over him, for the
And again, like I've told you before, I think Punk's gonna return from hiatus or whatever at Clash of the Castle and cost Drew the title. And what better way to kind of Drew McIntyre is still bringing up Punk to try to make sure people remember what's going on between the two, but keeping him off TV is, I think, the best thing they could do for it right
that
now.
makes sense. And anytime Drew comes out, he gets to CM Punk chants too. The crowd hasn't forgot it, which is great.
Right.
So what do we have left before Clash at the Castle? We still have one Raw and one SmackDown, and then it's Clash, I believe.
2 SmackDowns.
Oh, you have 2 Smack.
Because we have the SmackDown this week and then SmackDown next week.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yep. And then, so there's still a little bit of time more to build for. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for that event, because like you're predicting, like Drew is kind of the heel, right? But is he going to be the heel in Scotland?
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's going to be an interesting
Doesn't matter, because outside of what happens there, it's still going to continue on outside of, in the universe and on Raw and SmackDown, as he is the heel.
Right.
So it's going to be a cool dynamic to see what happens with that going forward.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, that's kind of an interesting parody that they have. Yeah. Like, he might be getting cheered in Scotland, but then come back home and still be the heel.
Yeah, because Punk might cost him the whatever in Scotland, right? Like you're predicting, and Punk's gonna get booed there for doing it, right? But when it goes to Raw,
you never know.
Yeah, when it goes to Raw the next night or two, then it's gonna be the opposite, maybe.
Yeah, time will tell. I mean,
we're interesting to see.
We're really looking forward to it. Yeah, and shout out everybody that's been part of the IWC. Not everybody, but the ones that we ride with, you're all a lot of fun and interesting, and the ones that are interesting in different ways, man, just kind of keep yourselves in check, man. Just all I gotta say about that.
Exactly.
No, not really. Trying to stay in our own lane and do our own thing over here, and y'all are kind of, like Andy said, we appreciate it, but just
the IWC is a weird place sometimes. Yeah.
But for the ones that ride along with us and follow along with us, man, we really enjoy you guys, and appreciate the positive feedback we've been getting, and it's been really cool. Anything else before we wrap this up?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Looking forward to SmackDown this week. Raw next week, and then leading up to Clash of the Castle.
and plenty more coming. So you better stay tuned and join the Renaissance and ride along with us. And we appreciate the support again. And this was the RRW Weekly review for the WWE Universe. And that's Pretty Deadly Jesse. And I'm Combat Jones. And you've been listening to the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast. Peace.